It is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! As you guys get to see another installment of the YCS Lockdown Tournament and Salamangreat versus Heroes. Now Salamangreat, our Heroes are going to start off their turn using Emergency Call to be able to add a Elemental Hero monster from their deck to their hand. Their monster of choice is going to be Elemental Hero Stratos, using its effect to get deeper into its plays. Now the hero strategy in Master Rule 2020 has gotten a lot stronger. It doesn't need to rely on its link plays, but still being able to special summon a Masked Hero Dark Law to your side of the field is a really good advantage. And when it isn't able to do that, the deck still has some more amazing combos. As you guys can see, Vision Hero Ferris is going to discard Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier to not only special summon itself, but also be able to place a Vision Hero Increase to the side of the field. Now when Increase will trigger its effect, it will tribute off a Elemental Hero or a Hero monster, summoning itself to be able to special summon the Vision Hero Vion. Now I know what you guys are thinking, YCS Lockdown Tournament, what exactly is that? Well, it's actually an amazing tournament between the 16 decks that you guys see on the screen. We're excited to show you guys every single one of these strategies on this channel 2 times a week. So of course, if you guys want to see more content like this, then be sure to destroy that like button, share with a friend, but also do what everyone is doing right about now. Make your bracket. It's going to be really exciting to watch as I am doing giveaways for the people that is getting their bracket right in my Discord. Destiny Hero Malicious is going to banish itself to find itself on the side of the field. And now it looks like both the Vision Hero Increase and the Destiny Hero Malicious will be used for a link summon, not necessarily having to go into a link play, but using its full effects. Vision or Extra Hero Cross Crusader will special summon that Destiny Hero Malicious, but more importantly will allow heroes to do what the deck does best, search more hero cards. And in this particular situation, heroes are trying to special summon that Destiny Hero Plasma, which allows me to think that maybe they don't have that Dark Law. Plasma is still a really awesome setup. Following up, it looks like they're going to be using Polymerization, fusing both of the monsters on their side of the field in Vision Hero Vion as well as Elemental Hero Stratos to fusion summon an Elemental Hero Sunriser. Now of course, Elemental Hero Sunriser will activate its effect. It will allow heroes to add a Miracle Fusion from their deck to their hand. That will give them an additional extension and another fusion summon play if they decide to use it. And we know that Liquid Soldier is in the graveyard, so that can be some pretty awesome plays. Heroes are going to use that Miracle Fusion. It looks like they're going to banish from the graveyard hero monsters to be able to special summon the appropriate hero monster. And that's actually really good for the hero strategy. The deck is all about its fusion summon, ladies and gentlemen. So the more fusion monsters it can pop off to the side of the field, the better. As both Vision Hero Increase and as both the Vision Hero Vion this time around, as well as Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier, will both be used for a fusion summon through Miracle Fusion to create Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. Now, Absolute Zero is best when it's paired with a mash change. Obviously, will trigger the effect of Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier not using its summon effect. They'll be able to draw 2 cards and discard a card from the hand. But again, Elemental Hero Absolute Zero is best paired with a mash change. Unfortunately, heroes don't necessarily have that, but even when it is on the side of the field, on the way to breaking the board, Salamangreat will have to deal with a Raigeki on their turn, which can be detrimental. Monster Reborn finding itself into an Elemental Hero Stratos, using its effect to add that Honest Neos, and as you guys can see, it looks like heroes may be willing to give up that Elemental Hero Sunriser to go all in and summon that Plasma, meaning that Salamangreat are going to be at a great disadvantage. Getting rid of that Sunriser to summon that Plasma is a necessary sacrifice, as Plasma can negate all of your opponent's monsters. It is a one-sided skill drain, and again, that can put heroes at the advantage that it needs. You have a one-sided skill drain, a pretty decent amount of cards in your hand. You also have Honest Neos, so your opponent can't necessarily attack over the Plasma, and you also have an Absolute Zero, meaning that if your opponent does break your board, more often than not, they're going to have to give up their monsters as well. So not a bad board starting off for heroes. Let's see how Salamangreat will respond. Activating Signet Mining by pitching Salamangreat Spinny from the hand to the graveyard. A quick ruling with you guys is if they do add Gazelle, which it looks like it, they can special summon the Gazelle even though it was the card searched through Cynet mining. So for you Salamangreat players that did not know, it doesn't matter if Gazelle is in your hand at the time of the Salamangreat card being sent to the graveyard. It only matters that at the resolution, you added the card. But no, it looks like Salamangreat is going to add Salamangreat Mole this time around, a very interesting choice. But I guess it makes sense because Plasma would negate the effect of Gazelle to send from the deck to the graveyard. Mole is going to find itself with a Salamangreat Foul to follow up, using the Foul for a link summon into Salamangreat Banelinks. Banelinks obviously cannot activate its effect due to Plasma, and both of those monsters will be linked off yet again right into a Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Now, the bad thing that Salamangreat, the huge situation is there is because they want a second summon. Unfortunately, they can't do it with Sanctuary. They're going to have to use some of those resources. So Spinny does hit the side of the field. Again, Sunlight Wolf won't be able to activate its effect to add a fire monster. This is literally draining all of Salamangreat's amazing plays. Now, Spinny and the Sunlight Wolf will be used for another link summon into second Sunlight Wolf. But this leads me to believe that Salamangreat actually have an answer in their back row cards. They're going to go ahead and set one card face down, Banelinks in graveyard, so they do have that protection for that Sunlight Wolf from Absolute Zero. And then they're going to go ahead and pass their turn right back to Heroes. This may not seem like the best situation for Salamangreat, but facing against a Destiny Hero Plasma is a little more easier than facing against a Master Hero Darklaw. During the standby phase, Salamangreat are going to use Salamangreat Rage to blow up Hero's board. That's obviously going to trigger the effect of Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, but Salamangreats are going to respond by banishing Salamangreat Banelinks to protect the Sunlight Wolf. So this is going to be pretty good. Salamangreat was able to break the hero board and get over the Elemental Hero Absolute Zero as well as the Plasma, and Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is going to be met into the emergency call. Heroes are going to follow up by normal summoning their Vision Hero, Vion, using the effect of Vion to send a hero monster from the deck to the graveyard. And next, they may be using the effect of Vision Hero Vion or the effect of the monster that they send. If it's a Shadow Miss, they'll be able to get an additional search. That's not a bad idea. Yes, it was a Shadow Miss. They'll be able to search a Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier for the next turn, or even just use Polymerization right now, fusing it off to be able to summon a second copy of Elemental Hero Absolute Zero. So Liquid Band plus another Vion on the field will be used for the summon of Absolute Zero. And now Zero can attack over that Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. That's going to inflict 700 damage to Salamangreats. They thought they had all the answers with the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to the emergency call, but that clutch Elemental Hero Absolute Zero puts Salamangreat back in the same position. They can potentially lose their entire board to an Absolute Zero effect. So the game plan for Salamangreat is going to be rather interesting. They're going to have to play around an Absolute Zero, which isn't terribly hard because they have the Banelinks, but the monster is a complete terror. It's 2,500 attack, plus what heroes also have in store for Salamangreat. They have an Honest Neos, and they were allowed to draw 2 more cards through the effect of Liquid Soldier, discard a card from their hand. They're in a really good spot to be able to contend with this Salamangreat strategy. So right now, again, Salamangreat is going to look to break this board. They're going to go ahead and start off by normal summoning Lady Debug, using Debug's effect to add a level 3 Cypress monster from the deck to the hand. That monster is more than likely going to be Gazelle, and the cool thing about this particular board is that heroes weren't able to capitalize on drawing 4 additional cards. The only thing they can make is the Absolute Zero, but it looks like Salamangreat is going to be able to capitalize on the no Destiny Hero Plasma or Darklaw, as Sanctuary will special summon Foul. And now Lady Debug will be used for a link into Banelinks. Banelinks effect will trigger to add that Salamangreat Sanctuary from the deck to the hand. And this is where Salamangreats do best. If you cannot beat them as fast as possible, they will grind to no end, using both the Foul and the Banelinks for another link summon into that Sunlight Wolf. And they are already deep into their plays. It looks like they're going to follow up with summoning Salamangreat Gazelle to their side of the field, since the Salamangreat monster did leave the field, using the effect of Gazelle to send Jack Jaguar. Jack Jaguar can now activate its effect. That will return a monster from the graveyard back into the extra deck. It's going to return a Sunlight Wolf to Special Summon Jag, triggering the effect of Sunlight Wolf to add a fire monster. This time around is going to be another Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is going to get Salamangreats another disruption, as they'll now use Sanctuary to turn the Sunlight Wolf into a second Sunlight Wolf, and that alone will get them a Salamangreat Rage from their graveyard for free. All 4 monsters, no, it looks like they're not. Oh wait, no, it looks like they're going to gain the effect. That's going to be pretty smart. Using the effect of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf to add that Salamangreat Rage for free from the graveyard to the hand. That's going to be a really, really smart move. And then they can link into another monster. We can already assume it's not going to be the Pyro Phoenix, or it could be the Pyro Phoenix actually, but no, it actually is not. It's going to be the Borlo Dragon. This card is actually really good inside of this format, as it can attack into the Absolute Zero, snatch the Absolute Zero, and the 2500 damage that you guys are seeing on screen is the Absolute Zero inflicting damage to heroes. So Salamangreats have weakened heroes, and here's where I guess you can say a mistake would happen, as heroes did have Vision Arrow increase into their graveyard, but they've ran through both of their Vions, so that card's not really going to help them this point in time. Heroes could summon that, put that increase into their, their spell and trap card zone, but again, both Vions have been ran through. They're not going to be able to get much with that increase. Probably why they decided not to go with it. So we know that heroes have to play through an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. They're going to go ahead and get it over with normal summoning that to the Elemental Hero Stratos, losing it to an Ash Blossom. And they're going to go ahead and pass their turn. And at the end of the turn, of course, Absolute Zero will be sent to the graveyard. That's going to trigger Absolute Zero's effect. It's going to destroy the Borlo Savage Dragon. So Salamangreat's back onto the defensive. They're going to need a way to beat over this meager Elemental Hero Stratos. But of course, there is still that Honest Neos in hand. Looking through the resources, they have no monsters on their field, so they're going to use the effect of Salamangreat Roll, returning 1, 2, and 3 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolves. That's exactly what you need to bring you back into the game. A Balinx and a Salamangreat Foul. They'll be able to shuffle all of those cards into the deck and gain even more resources. Salamangreat is almost back to exactly where they started, for the exception that they have the cards that they need in the graveyard. Heroes are going to be looking at a pretty huge problem, as again, the longer this game lasts, Salamangreats will grind you to death. They will get all of the resources that they need, and eventually they'll just be able to overwhelm you with their card advantage and the amount of hand traps they can just keep on recycling, or the hand traps that they do draw into that are just free for them. It's the epitome of making a hand trap free. Resolving the effect of Salamangreat Mold, they'll get additional resources, then use Will of the Salamangreat. Special summoning Gazelle back to their side of the field, triggering the effect of Gazelle. That can send a Salamangreat Roar to the graveyard, as it is. Going into that Sunlight Wolf with the second summon effect is going to allow them to get that Roar. We've already seen them get Rage. They're going to have a Rage Roar combo, potentially even an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring in their hand, just for playing the Salamangreat strategy. So linking off the Gazelle right into the Balinx. Of course, no Balinx effect, as there aren't anymore. And then they're going to normal summon another Salamangreat Jaguar, using both of those monsters for a link into their Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf is obviously hitting the field with the Vengeance. Jaguar can summon itself by shuffling a card, but I think they're going to go ahead and use their Sanctuary to make a second Sunlight Wolf. That will be a little better, as now they'll be able to add that Salamangreat Rage immediately and then shuffle in the first Sunlight Wolf to be able to summon Jaguar under to where the Sunlight Wolf points to. Now, personally, I think if Salamangreat didn't already have an Ash Blossom, they should have added Ash Blossom. There are so many situations where hero wants to search into their critical cards, and Ash Blossom could be a game winner. You also have Will on the field, so you can keep on just summoning Gazelle. As Honest Neos is going to meet the Jaguar, heroes are not trying to lose their board completely. Sal is just going to go ahead and set 2 cards and then pass their turn right back to hero. 5,500 life points for Salamangreat, 5,500 life points for hero. This game is looking fairly balanced. Heroes following up with a reinforcement of the army. Now that could have been Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring instead of having a Salad Gazelle in your hand. But, you know, it looks like we're just going to go move past this. Salamangreat are going to allow heroes to add that Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. and it's going to be discarded to special summon a Vision Hero Ferris to the side of the field, resolving the effect of the Elemental Hero Shadow Mist again. If Vision Hero Ferris doesn't have any initial targets to be able to put in that spell in the trap card zone, it's going to be pretty bad for heroes, as their grind game has all been but mitigated. Normal summoning the Elemental Hero Stratos, using its effect to destroy some back row instead. It's going to be met with an Effect Veiler, as it looks like Salamangreat could have had an Effect Veiler, DD Crow, and both rages. This game is going to be over, as Salamangreat can just grind out heroes and just go for game for the rest. Heroes are going to go ahead and start off their turn with a reinforcement of the army. And again, they're going for its game plan is going to be get into a Dark Law if possible. If not, they're going to go ahead and make that Destiny Hero Plasma play. Very worst case scenario, they just go ahead and make that, you know, absolute zero match change. As the reinforcement of army is going to be immediately Duel and Lockbird, they won't be able to add for the rest of the turn. And on top of that, their Elemental Hero Solid Soldier is going to be negated with an Effect Veiler. Salamangreat pulling out all of the stops. Heroes following up by discarding the Vision Hero Vion to be able to special summon the Ferris to the side of the field. How is this deck still playing Yu-Gi-Oh? They can't search. Their normal summon extender card has been negated, but they're going to find their way into that Vision Hero Increase. Now they can use the effect of Increase, tributing off the Ferris to special summon Increase to the side of the field. That will special summon the Vision Hero Vion to the side of the field as well. Now, keep in mind, the Vion summon is from the deck to the side of the field. Heroes just push the Vision Hero Vion to the spell and trap card zone for ease of summoning. And now the Vision Hero Vion's effect will be able to send a hero monster from the deck to the graveyard. This one's going to be hard, as we know Shadow Mist can't be used. It's going to be a Destiny Hero Malicious that's going to find itself. What exactly is Hero doing with this play? Malicious will banish itself to find another self to the side of the field. An Increase plus Malicious for Cross Crusader? That doesn't make any sense. You can't search still under Duel and Lockbird. Heroes are looking for the perfect complement. It's actually going to be Extra Hero Wonder Driver. Okay, that's interesting to see. Heroes opening up and making a very interesting board. Vision Hero Vion, Solid Soldier, a face down card with Extra Wonder Driver. That's going to be pretty much it for their board. I'm not going to say that that's disappointing, as we don't know their face down card. If it is a mash change, it'll be pretty good, as they can turn their Vion into a Dark Law under the Extra Wonder Driver and then use the effect of Wonder Driver to set back that match change. That'll put them in the driver's seat to be able to make some huge plays. Salamangreat not really having a choice with its current hand sequence. They're gonna have to dive right in by activating that Signet Mining, sending one card from their hand to the graveyard and Salamangreat Foxy to be able to add a Cyberse monster, but it is going to be that match change, as they'll use the Vision Hero Vion for that special summon of one of their most powerful cards in Masked Hero Dark Law. Now, of course, Extra Hero Wonder Driver's effect will activate. That match change will be set back to the side of the field, and it can be used for later turns. Here's the pretty cool thing. On the following turn, heroes can use the match change on their Solid Soldier to turn it into a Masked Hero Gaia, and he'll be able to special summon or tutor a monster to the side of the field if it destroys a monster by battle. Of course, a card was added from the deck to the hand, so Dark Law will, of course, banish. That's going to banish Salamangreat's Gazelle. Yeah, that's quite the GG's right now. That is terrible for Salamangreat, as they're going to lose their Gazelle. Not that they'd be able to activate its effect to send from the deck to the graveyard, making it an almost useless card right now anyways. But Salamangreat is just losing advantage left and right to the Masked Hero Dark Law. And that could be pretty pivotal. The Foxy will cost a requirement if its cost isn't to send from deck to graveyard. So it looks like Foxy is going to be normal summoned, and Foul is going to be chained to this, giving a little bit of hope, but it looks like it's going to find nothing, as they can't even make a Salamangreat monster that can be second summoned and follow up with a Rage. They're going to go ahead and scoop, and we're going to go into Game 3. Salamangreat showing you that it can outgrind a deck, and if it does, it will win. And Heroes being able to show you that it can make a quick game out of any contending deck with Dark Law. Which one of these decks are going to advance in this YCS Lockdown Tournament? As Salamangreat is going to start off pretty good, using Lady Debug to find a Gazelle. that's going to search a Salamangreat Sanctuary, or I'm sorry, the Banelinks off of the Lady Debug is going to find the Salamangreat Sanctuary. Of course, the Gazelle is found off the Debug. Sanctuary is going to be forced to turn a Banelinks into a Banelinks, but that's all cool as it will allow the effect of Salamangreat Gazelle to trigger. Gazelle can now send a Salamangreat card from the deck to the graveyard. That's going to be the Jaguar. So the interesting thing about this particular combo is if Salamangreat had an additional monster extender, this wouldn't be too much of a problem, as then they can send their Salamangreat Speller trap card to the graveyard as opposed to the Jaguar. Now, since they don't have that monster extender, they're forced to send the Jaguar to the graveyard, as it will be the only way to make their second summoned Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf hitting the board, Jaguar is going to have to use the effect to shuffle in one of those Banelinkses to summon itself. The only good thing is that, of course, you'll be able to use the effect of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf to recur that Salamangreat, Gazelle back into the hand for later plays. And both of those monsters will be used into the second Sunlight Wolf, meaning it will gain its full abilities. But even more importantly, those trap cards become a little bit more deadlier. Salamangreat setting 2 cards face down, and it looks like that's going to be the finale of their turn. It's up to heroes to save the day. Get it? Because they're heroes? Okay, I'll stop. So in this particular situation, heroes may have to play through maybe a hand trap or 2, but they're more than likely going to have to play through 2 back rows if one of them is a Salamangreat Rage, or I'm sorry, a Salamangreat Roar, which is really good for stymieing out heroes' plays. They're going to be in some serious trouble. Heroes starting off their turn by normal summoning Elemental Hero Stratos. Is it going to be stopped? Yes, it looks like it is going to be stopped by an Infinite Impermanence, no Stratos effect to gain a search. They're going to follow with Foolish Burial. Really interesting that they're going to use Foolish Burial into their opening clause. That's going to send a Destiny Hero Malicious. But it's going to be met by a DD Crow. Salamangreat coming with all of the stoppage right here, putting heroes into a whirlwind of not being able to get their most important cards. Following up with a Polymerization. What is heroes doing? They're going to fuse both the Destiny Hero Plasma and the Stratos, recognizing that with that many cards stop, it's going to be really hard to get into Plasma. That's perfectly fine. They are going to make an Elemental Hero Sunriser. Sunriser's effect will trigger. Of course, they'll get that, that Miracle Fusion. And heroes are being very smart, not placing a card in the column where Infinite Impermanence was activated, as Infinite Impermanence's second effect to be able to negate cards in the same column is very much alive. Now finishing up with Evil Hero Aduster Gold. It looks like this strategy would just not be denied for this current turn. That Aduster Gold is going to add a Dark Calling, and it's up to Salamangreat to be able to break a Malicious Bane / Elemental Hero Sunriser board. That's going to be pretty cool. So while we're here, we want to also take the time out to give a mad shout out to every single one of our sponsors. For the people that want to buy cards, just to help the TheCaliEffect out while they're buying cards on TCGPLAYER, there's actually a link that you guys can use. We are sponsored by TCGPLAYER, and it helps us tremendously, especially at this time. So again, if you guys are looking for that, also if you guys love these mats, Imperium Duelist is where you go. I will leave all of the links down below in the description. And of course, for the people that are wanting to know about these deck profiles, unfortunately, they won't make the YouTube, but they will be on Patreon, first as exclusive content for our Patreons, and then they'll be visible by everyone at a set date. So heroes following up with that Dark Calling, they'll now be able to banish that Aduster and that Plasma that was just used right into that Aduster Gold now, or that Malicious Bane. Now here's the sad thing about Salamangreat. If that was a Roar, it should have been used on that Dark Calling, but we can pretty much confirm that that's not the Salamangreat Roar, as you don't want Malicious Bane to hit the side of the field against Salamangreat. It can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's going to use the effect to wipe the board. Fortunately, Salamangreat Banelinks is going to activate its effect to protect the Sunlight Wolf, and while in battle, it looks like Salamangreat is going to use the Salamangreat Rage to destroy the Elemental Hero Sunriser. Would be able to destroy the Malicious Bane if it couldn't be destroyed by card effects, but unfortunate, as Bane is going to run over the Salamangreat. They're going to lose 1,200 life points, but be able to spell summon the Gazelle to their side of the field. Really good thinking, as Gazelle can propel itself to the side of the field, and heroes don't have additional monsters, meaning that ultimately that Gazelle will be able to sit on the field for free, and it's a free summon finding itself into a Salamangreat spinning in the graveyard. So here is the really big problem for Salamangreat. They can sometimes struggle against monsters that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects and whatnot, and they're looking at a monster that can not only wipe their entire board, but they also are looking at a card that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and it's just extremely hard for the strategy to get over. The most prominent out would be Duel Low Dragon. That card is just amazing, and we did see it in the game 1. Let's see if Salamangreats can actually make it though. Going through their options, Salamangreat are going to be looking into making Duel Load. They're going to special summon that Salamangreat Spinny to their side of the field because they control a Salamangreat monster. And next they're going to follow up by using that Spinny immediately for a link summon into their Salamangreat Banelinks. Banelinks and the Salamangreat Gazelle will be used into the link summon of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. And here's where you have to stop if you don't want to use additional resources to make that board load, as it does require 3 monsters. They're going to return a monster into the extra deck to spell summon Jack Jaguar to where under the Salamangreat monster points to. They're going to return that Gazelle. Unfortunately, that Gazelle cannot be summoned for the duration of the turn, so that's going to be pretty bad for them, but they'll use that to make another Sunlight Wolf through the effect of their field spell in Sanctuary. Add that Salamangreat Rage, and they're going to need another monster to be able to continue on with this play. Their monster is going to have to be a monster in hand. If they just stop right here, they're going to get curb stomped by Hero. It's going to be an Ash Blossom in Joyous Spring. That is the most disappointing monster you want to summon, as we know it is the next card that they wanted. They didn't want to lose that card, but unfortunately it's a necessary sacrifice to make a Duel Low Dragon, which will completely out the Malicious Bane. Snatching the Duel Low Dragon, Salamangreats are back into the driver's seat, inflicting 3,000 damage to heroes, and now they have a monster that can't be targeted by monster effects, as well as their own Malicious Bane, which is kind of good. It won't last for the rest of the hero's turn, but it's still kind of good. Heroes down to 6,000 life points to Salamangreat 668. They're going to go ahead and start off by normal summoning Liquid Man to their side of the field. Liquid Soldier using its effect to be able to special summon Elemental Hero Stratos. Stratos will now fetch a hero monster from the deck to the hand. So we know that it's a Salamangreat Roar face down, Rage face down, and the cool thing about Rage is that it can activate in the hand by discarding the Gazelle if need be, but hopefully heroes just can't break that board, as Vision Hero Ferris will find itself to the side of the field to put the Increase and the Vision Hero Vion, using the effect of Increase to tribute, also to special summon the Vion, using the Vion to send another monster from the deck to the graveyard. Keep in mind, this hero deck is well equipped for the fusion summon, so what you guys seen in the opening play is not the end of the strategy, as they'll send Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, triggering its effect, and it looks like they're going to be able to use the effect of Vision Hero Vion again, banishing the Ferris to add another polymerization. Again, this deck is well equipped for the fusion summon, as now they're going to, oh my god, they're going to go into Vision Hero Trinity. That is crazy. They're going to have the Honest Neos and then polymerization. It looks like they're going to fuse the Liquid Soldier, the Vion, and the Increase as material. That's going to go ahead and make the Trinity plus the Elemental Hero Honest Neos is game. It can attack into the Duel Low Dragon as well as the Malicious Bane with 7,500 attack. Even if reduced by the Duel Low Dragon, it's 4,000 with both monsters. That would be game for Salamangreat. They can't handle that type of blow. And it looks like heroes aren't even done using the effects of Miracle Fusion, banishing Solid Soldier and another monster in the graveyard, possibly that Vion. They're going to fusion summon right into that Elemental Hero Sunriser, so this is not the board that Salamangreat wants to deal with. Heroes are trying to take this game over right now with a second Miracle Fusion. This is crazy. Whoa! It looks like heroes are trying to take this game right here and right now. The Malicious Bane may disagree with them for now, but Duel Low Dragon will have to send that Malicious Bane to the graveyard, whether it's on the field or not. Elemental Hero Absolute Zero is going to find itself. And it looks like Trinity is going to attack, but while in battle phase, it looks like Salamangreat Rage is going to be used before the Trinity can declare an attack. They have to get over that Trinity. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. It looks like the Sunriser is going to discard the Honest Neos to get over the Borolo Dragon. And that's going to be Salamangreat's hope to be able to break this board, because that Borolo Dragon would have been able to snatch to Absolute Zero, and then Absolute Zero could probably crash into a monster, wipe heroes' boards, and put them in a bad spot. It looks like our favorite deck is going to be knocked out of the round. Salamangreat losing 2 heroes in an epic bout. It was still really exciting to see both of these decks go at it, but as we know, heroes will advance to the next round to potentially play against Blackwings or Orchist. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have so many awesome rewards. I hope you guys are staying safe at this time of need and having a great day like I am.